핸섬 소세지.
Since so many of you enjoyed our reaction to Blueprint, we decided to share with you another video from our Patreon exclusive content. This time it is TA lyrics video. There were tons of stuff to go through, so you are gonna see most of what we have to say, but we did react to the dance practice video for TA, which was even more epic, and we did catch new references to talk about. So if you do want to check out the full video, the link to our Patreon is in the description below. We've already reacted to songs that came previously, like Phobia, which was another song that a lot of you wanted to see. So for all that and more, check that out. Otherwise, enjoy this video and the dissection.
Wow.
TA. 3, 2, 1.
Click.
Oh, I'm sensing it. Get my notebook out.
Oh? What?
Hola TA. Hola TA.
Oh?
Wow, Seungmin sounds so good. I like that. Oh. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, this is gonna be fire.
Oh!
There's so much. This is gonna be Korean lesson, everybody.
What the fuck, John?
Wow. Loving the guitar here. And Seungmin's tone here.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's ride, fly high. 꽉 잡아 놓치기 전에.
What voice is
Let's
that?
ride, fly high. 저 하늘 보면서 카. Let's ride, fly high. 이 기회 놓치기 전에. Let's ride, fly high. Take me to the top.
타.
Love this. I love the twist there.
Wow.
Damn.
This is so like a hype song.
That's a
Wow.
lot.
Wow. For the first half, like I didn't know what to take from this music. But is it only me that it just feels like that old Stray Kids songs?
Oh, no, of course not. Look, listen, because all right, well, let's start with that. First of all, the wham really reminded me of ATEEZ sound.
Yeah. It reminded me of the Wonderland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When it started,
And
yeah, I thought
there
of
was a
that too.
tiger sound,
Yeah.
which was Miroh.
Miroh.
And if you think about the phrasing of the key word "olata," it reminds you of side effects.
Ta 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 is like Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that references the older SKZ songs. And we will get to this. If you're interested in learning Korean, keep watching because there's a lot. But Take Me to the Top changes the end picture of what 올라타 can mean. It kind of sounds like elevator, which is very much connected to SKZ. In that sense, I think the references might be intentional.
You know, like this 올라타, that thing. It reminds me of that like old thing from Stray Kids. It was probably Hyunjin that did this type of stuff.
Oh my god, I feel like I should know.
Or maybe
because
it just felt like, oh shit, it's back to our like survival show kind of thing, that era.
I mean, apart from the 80s like Wong, I don't even know what the source that is. Do you know?
Probably like a reverse brass, and because of the kick when it comes in right away, it has a similar texture of the Wonderland kick.
Yeah.
So I guess it's funny that I also thought about that too. And also not because of the tiger sound, because of this like jungle elements,
certain percussive elements in certain sections that make it a bit more rhythmical and there's that sense. Sure.
And that one, and also like those like bird sounds and some kind of like just some kind of like nature vibe into it. Probably because of that, like I thought about like the entrance from the clay Miroh. I wasn't really paying attention to the music somehow, like I don't know why, I just like bobbed onto it, but I was really fascinated by like the members' rap lines.
Oh,
especially like Pang-chan.
Such a different rhythmical flow.
Yeah.
Changbin's later rap was crazy. Hyunjin's rap was really good too.
Yeah.
One thing I liked when Han initially enters a song before like a minute mark, there was this guitar riff that was vastly different from the later guitar parts. It had more of a filter to it. It was EQ'd different, and I really, really loved the way it sounds, especially coming from that reverse brass-like sound that foreshadowed this epicness that's to come, and then they quiet down and then go for this very electric guitar-like sound with Han's vocal. I thought that's a great twist, and that kind of twist continues on throughout the song.
I think it's probably because of that rhythm ta. I was thinking that it was gonna be more like a hip hop kind of theme, but it just went totally different into like EDM kind of theme.
It is a lot like Miroh. The more I talk about it,
honestly, this feels like it actually doesn't belong into this album. If you think about the mood of the song compared to like other songs. This album.
You're right.
I don't know when they made this song, but it just feels like one of the older songs that they kind of like brought it back, or even recorded before and then brought it back, or kind of stuff.
It's not about how well the other songs correlate with each other quality-wise, but more about how much Ta isn't related musically with the rest of it.
Feel,
it's so different.
You have that era, so like listen, 90s. 2000s, 2010s.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a bigger picture kind of thing, right? Yeah. And also, just before we jump to the lyrics, I loved Seungmin's line and the tone that he used. Overly joyous and
I get it.
도깨비-like tone, if you will.
Yeah,
like a prankster type of like having fun. It doesn't have that kind of quality usually, but Seungmin's line in this song was very much a surprise.
Yeah.
He had a lot more of a 쨍쨍거리는 sound.
Oh, yeah. That.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't as controlled. It was more trebly. It was more of a screech, if you will, type of singing.
Yeah. So you have anything about lyrics?
I have a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I was looking back here and there.
How do you catch all those, man?
The moment they started with 올라타, I knew that I had to take this out. Before we get to Ta itself, I'm going to start with what Felix said. He says, no more 고민해, which means worry no more. But the way he delivers the line sounds like no more 고민해.
Oh, so
what are you
worrying about for? Yeah.
So it's a double play that works both in English and in Korean, and I think it is intentional. For the sake of build-up, one more thing I want to mention is Han using 그냥 instead of 그냥. 그냥 means just. So 그냥 해, just do it. And he uses 그냥, and it's not a big deal. It's an abbreviated form of just. But there is this sense of coolness to the word, especially when someone like Han uses it in this type of song, and it really fits with that lightness of the song, that joyous feeling that you talked about. It really fits with that, so I wanted to mention that as well.
Just as if you're like with your friends, it's that kind of vibe. Like, just gang, just like Good run.
It's a very small detail, but I'm glad that they decided to go for that instead of 그냥. Now, the biggest surprise for me was 타올라. 모락모락 타올라.
Oh.
And I don't remember what the English lyrics said, but probably not exactly accurate because 타올라 is like burning up, like burn up. 모락모락, I think, is another example of onomatopoeia that describes the smoke coming from the fire, but one that isn't too harsh. So like campfire smoke, not like building on fire type of smoke. So that's what 모락모락 타올라 is. So they're using 타 as in burn and also 올라타, which means hop on. And I did catch this one. If you look at the English lyrics, when they say 올라타 and then 타 again, the English lyric says hop on and then on. And I understand exactly why they did it, and it's not a problem, but 타 itself is closer to board. Like boarding a ship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But since 타 is a conjugated form of the word 타다, I guess the proper meaning would be closer to like hop on, hop in, or even get in if you're talking about cars. So it is a conjugated form. Like, hey, get in. So that's 타, not exactly on. Just if you want to know the exact meaning, that's not how it goes. And then there was that hook, right? 올라타올라,
Yeah,
올라타올라.
Yeah.
And here they're playing with both 올라타 and 타올라, which is the two things that we described, hop on and burn up, right?
Yeah.
But because of the way the phrase is stressed, it emphasized the burn up more than the hop in part. As in, it's closer to up, burn up,
and then the ta becomes like burn.
Right, exactly. And then the ta becomes burn.
Yeah.
And because of the position of the word ta, which it's at the end in this case, trying to emphasize hop on instead of burn up wouldn't really have worked anyways in Korean. And then there was one thing not related to ta that I caught from Bangchan when he says 3만 리, which is a reference to the Japanese animation 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother. But Bangchan says 30,000. That's because Lee is not the same as League. Since they said 3,000, I'm assuming League is way bigger than Lee. But Lee is actually a long gone unit as well that was once used primarily in Eastern Asian countries, which is what Bangchan is referencing here. And just to wrap things up, I guess lastly, again, because they eventually get to the main line, which is to take me to the top, we are assuming that it sounds like the 올라타 expression is referring to some kind of an elevator, which is very fitting for SKZ with elevator.
And then sometimes I really like when Stray Kids members use sometimes with like 개 involved in it.
Like 개꿀개?
Yeah, 개꿀 kind of thing. And Bangchan also used like 개고생 kind of thing, which is very casual. Yeah, this was just too hard. Or like, oh shit, you worked too hard, that kind of thing. It really has that vibe of youthfulness and friendship kind of thing.
Just like the way we talked about Kyang, which ends up turning the entire song into something that is more playful.
Yeah, I still didn't get it. I feel like I'm a student right now and I'm learning some Korean with you.
So here's what we're gonna do. Let's hop into the dance practice video. Check out what the dance is like for a song with this level of precision and see what we can come up with that we might have missed on our first listen. Oh, this looks good. It kind of reminds me of a Victory song and stuff like that. Actually, and Side Effect too. Like the way things are written. 3, 2, 1, play.